One of the most annoying, infuriating things about going through airport security is this thing with the bottles. Like, I can't have a large bottle of something, but I can have a tiny bottle of something. And it makes no sense. And if you've gone anywhere in the last 20 years, tiny bottles of shampoo, you put it into plastic bags, you take the laptop out of the case, you take the battery off the laptop, you have to load every device you have into a basket with your money and take the belt off your trousers so your pants falls down when you're walking through security. It's a pain in the neck. But it might be about to change. Eoghan Corry of Travel Extra joins me. Eoghan, I think you and I spoke about this before. It's changing because of the way they scan things. Morning to you.
Good morning. That thing with the bottles is what is actually the best description I've heard of it for a long time. And I'll try and get the image of you with your pants down out of my head as quickly as possible, PJ. The reality is that this has made no sense for a long, long time. Everybody sort of realises it. My favourite was, I think, Dublin Airport many years ago. They confiscated all these bottles from angry punters. You know, the bottle of whiskey I'm bringing to Auntie Nelly had to be taken out and confiscated. And then they sold it off for charity at Christmas. So the bottle that was deemed too dangerous because it might blow up your Auntie Nelly was then sold as a charity item. It made no sense. It's coming to an end, as you say. The question is when. We've had a couple of dates given on this, and it looks like now, from July, it's going to be changed. That means as many mils as you like in your bag. It means you're not putting things in little plastic bags anymore. That's the good news. The bad news is it's going to take a lot longer at Cork, because Cork is one of two airports of the 8 on the island that still hasn't got the new scanners. But Kenny Jacobs was talking yesterday at a press briefing in Dublin, and he said as soon as the summer is over, the hammers and the drills are going to come out. Cork is going to get a major revamp, and part of it is the new C3 scanners, as many mils as you like left in your bag going through security. In July, it should come in Dublin. Shannon has all C3 scanners. Kerry has all C3 scanners, and Donegal.
Hang on, Kerry will have this ahead of Cork.
Okay, Kerry has it ahead of Cork. I know I better be very, very quiet when don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Kerry has it already. Kerry's smaller airport, obviously, and Cork is a bigger. One of the problems, by the way, is that they are bigger machines and they take more staff to man them.
Yeah.
So they won't fit in all the old spaces.
Right.
It's a problem in Dublin as well with old Terminal 1. Terminal 2 is completely fitted out. Terminal 1 is half fitted out. If you really want to get through the new scanners, they're already very handy for laptops. You can keep your laptop in the bag. But you go to the left in Terminal 1. Remember Beyonce, go to the left as you go into Terminal 1 if you're doing
everything you own in a box on the left, yeah?
Always the left. But the thing is that it's an issue between the European Union. They seem happy, reading between the lines, they seem happy. The Americans not absolutely happy with it yet. And when the C3 scanners were first introduced, there was a lot of hullabaloo because we could leave as many mils as we liked in our bag. But then last September it changed.
Yeah.
And the reason it changed, PJ, was not your 75 cl bottle of wine or whiskey. It's the larger bottles, you know, the big 2-litre Coke and Fanta bottle. Not many people bring those through the airport. That's of no concern to the security people. They said they're not happy, so everybody's liquids had to come out again. So it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Do you know the thing about the bottle of whiskey? The bottle of whiskey for Uncle Christy, right? That you bought, like Uncle Christy's bottle of whiskey, right? That'll get taken off you, but you can go through security, right, and go into the duty free or the airside cell. You can buy the same bottle, and take it on the like. That has never made sense to me, Eoghan.
Welcome to the crazy world of aviation security. It goes back to an attempted bomber where somebody had liquid in his shoes. And it became apparent that liquid was going through security scanners. Liquid explosives were going through security scanners without being detected. And overnight, they introduced this crazy rule. It caused havoc, particularly in the early days when people didn't expect it. There were bottles being... I saw gel, sort of jelly sweets, the equivalent of jelly babies. They were a continental and Italian equivalent, sort of Turkish delight, being taken off someone he was bringing home as a present. He was told that was a liquid in an airport in Italy. It was really infuriating for passengers.
Yeah.
But the old advice with airport security still applies: is keep a civil tongue in your head, keep calm. There's no winning the situation.
No, they have a job to do. It's and they don't like the job themselves. I know that from talking to some of the lads at Cork Airport. They don't like this old nonsense, but they have to do it.
I don't think you have the problem in Cork Airport you have in a lot of airports of this terrible attitude. And that's part of the infuriation. Some of the guys had a terrible attitude, and it probably goes within the culture of the airport as well, within the security staff. Yeah. Some airports are better than others.
Yeah, I was coming through an airport in Spain there back in February, and when I went through the scanner, I'd left a couple of cents in the pocket of my jeans. Well, he did everything short of look at me with a gun. Do you know, I mean, again, the attitude bothered me. It's a few coins, pal. Come on,
There are loads of very, very good memes on the internet, very good comedy memes of airport security guards taking, abusing passengers, and there's no other word for it. That's what happened. It doesn't have to happen in the majority of cases, but if it happens once in your years of travelling, it sticks in your head. It's a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, my own fella actually, and it's amazing how you've heard of it, different subject. And you've heard of the sunflower lanyard. It's a very powerful little piece of kit. My son hates airport security. He hates because of his autism. He hates people fiddling in his bag and all that,
Yeah, that's a different, and there's a real move at last to make airports more autism friendly, and there's a very big move both in Shannon and in Dublin and indeed in Cork to make airports autism friendly. No allowance is made. I went through, there's an Indian travel writer that I'm very friendly with and suffers from Tourette's. And when he gets stressed, he starts shouting out words, swear words. Yeah. So we were in a queue in Eagle County in California. I'll always remember a small airport. Small airports are more jumpy than big ones. And we were at the queue as we were taking out our laptops and everything, and he shouted out, "To hell with Homeland Security." At the top of his voice. And it took a lot of explaining to stop him being carted away at gunpoint, but that's the sort of thing.
Yeah, I interviewed a young lad with Tourette's actually one time, and a bit of an activist on it, and he said that to me. He said, you're queuing up at the airport and something makes you shout bomb. And, you can't...
You said bomb on a plane. That's a very famous movie line. Yes, it's one of those. But anyway, joking aside, it is a really, really, really stressful situation. That end of the security is not going to go away. We are making them more autism friendly. And the big news is July, as many mils as you like in your bag. Won't come into Cork till next summer. It's going to come in Dublin. All of Dublin will be fitted out with machines by October. But when it comes in, and hopefully it's July because this is the fourth date we've been given.
Yeah.
All of Terminal 2 will be clear. And when you go into Terminal 1, just remember Beyonce to the left.
How are we doing on business this summer, Eoghan? Are we thriving, or what's the story?
Thriving both directions. Really, really strong aviation. I say it's grown, but if we didn't have the pandemic, we would be well ahead of where we are. We're only back to just over the pandemic levels. But it does, the passenger cap is in abeyance. It's in that legal limbo where it's being appealed.
Yes.
And that's going to take ages. But in the meantime, Dublin Airport have taken the position that they're going to allow the airport to grow generically, and that means more flights, more passengers going through.
Right.
Busiest day in the history of Dublin Airport was 2 Sundays ago, not our bank holiday, but the English bank holiday weekend. 127,000 went through in a day.
Wow.
They want to plan for growth. They already manage an airport in Saudi Arabia. Dublin Airport manages them that has 60 million a year. So they know how it works.
Yeah.
And they want to bring it up to 40 million from the 32 million it is at the moment. The cap is in abeyance, as I say, so they're allowed to do that. It's going to be a very strong summer.
Yeah.
A lot of uncertainty, though, because of what's happening in Washington, D.C. especially.
Yeah.
But in terms of our aviation industry, which is largely Ryanair and Aer Lingus, growing, good growth in Cork. Cork is the fastest growing airport in the country.
Yeah, it's flying. It's flying. It's great.
And they're talking now about winter routes. Ryanair brought 3 new routes into Shannon for winter. I'd be expecting something similar to be announced in Cork.
So for people packing, because tomorrow being the 7th of June, it'll be a traditional Saturday in which thousands of people will head off, many of them through Cork Airport for the family holiday, the 2 smallies. Anything different from last year tomorrow?
No, no difference, no major difference from last year. The security figures were just released from Cork Airport the other day. I think you covered them, and 99% of people are getting through in 20 minutes or less. There isn't the security in Dublin has also been performing very well. When they are putting in new passenger facilities like play areas and new seating, there was a terrible shortage of seating, particularly in Dublin. The toilets, a lot of work needs to be done. What they will be doing is bringing a lot on the mezzanine level in Dublin Airport in Terminal 1. Terminal 1 sort of got forgotten when all the attention was on Terminal 2. But the listeners will be familiar with the mezzanine level in Terminal 1. It's largely a wasted space at the moment. They're going to transfer about 60% of that to airside and use it for more retail food outlets. The Cork English market is an inspiration to what Dublin Airport are trying to do. They're going to call it the Irish market. And they want, instead of your generic, the same shops you get at every airport all over the world, they want to have much, much more Irish presence.
Oh, that'd be no harm.
About, the shops and the retail and the eating and the dining. If you go, for instance, to Milan, it's sort of a generic airport with all the international labels. If you go to Bergamo, just up the road, it's all Italian. It's very, very Italian, because the airport had a conscious decision. We want people arriving at this airport to know they're in Italy. So there's a bit of inspiration from that. And it'll happen in Cork as well, that we want people arriving in an airport. If you're coming in, you've been in 8 airports that month, you're going to know what country you're in.
Excellent. All right, Eoghan, thank you. Eoghan Corry, Travel Extra.